This program lineup is brought to you by Vision Express.
KUAM TVH, first on Guam. KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adahi Itano program. Apply at matson.com. New Jeep Gladiators up to $7,000 off now at Cars Plus. Named the best vehicle for adventure in 2024. Get your Jeep Gladiator today at Cars Plus. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime. A bomb scare on Naval Base Guam forces patrons to shelter in place for hours. Military authorities now investigating as the all-clear is given.
Plus, a bill to provide free bus passes for those in need of reliable transportation up for talks today. I'm Mitsuki Hirayama with more from the session floor.
The NMI Professional Firefighters Union begins historic negotiations with the Commonwealth Ports Authority. I'm Tomas Manlonia with the full story coming up tonight.
Hafida and good evening. Welcome to KUAM News Primetime. I'm Nick Delgado.
And I'm Destiny Cruz. Thanks so much for making us a part of your day.
A scary situation for those on Naval Base Guam today.
The military base forced to close access at the front gate after officials got a serious threat. The all-clear was given just after 3 this afternoon.
No word if authorities have a suspect, but an investigation now underway.
A stop to military operations here midday Wednesday. Naval Base Guam's main gate off Route 1 Marine Corps Drive closed. A line of cars are backed up outside as no one was allowed access in following a bomb threat the Navy received at 12:15 Wednesday afternoon. Those living and working on the southern military installation were forced to shelter in place. This message alert even sent to them stating the security forces were the ones who got the call and that officials were securing the Coast Guard buildings and multiple barracks following the threat. An explosive ordnance disposal team and other emergency responders were activated to both locations to assess the threat. By 2:30 Wednesday afternoon, the Navy posted on social media that information for pickup of students at the base's elementary and middle schools would be announced after the all-clear was given. About half an hour later, the Navy announced the all-clear, lifting the shelter in place and reopening the main gate and back gate of the base. Still, Naval Base employees and residents were asked to remain clear of the building and nearby areas as authorities continue to investigate.
Well, the threat on the naval base had many on Guam undoubtedly concerned.
It occurred after the Chinese military successfully test-fired an intercontinental ballistic missile into the Pacific Ocean. The Defense Ministry saying the People's Liberation Army Rocket Force launched the ICBM carrying a simulated warhead at 11 a.m. Chamorro Standard Time. The ministry adding that it accurately landed in a predetermined area of the high seas. Officials say the test was a routine part of the Rocket Force's annual military training.
In response to the launch, Guam Homeland Security confirmed, quote, no immediate threat was assessed for Guam or the Marianas from the reported launch. Homeland Security Advisor Esther Agagi says, quote, events such as these will continue to be monitored by our office while working with local military and federal partners. Delegate James Moylan, who is seeking re-election, also stating, quote, today's test missile launched by the People's Republic of China is the very reason I advocated for and was successful in securing the needed funding for the Guam Missile Defense System, adding the safety of our island and our people is my #1 top priority.
Well, the launch came as President Biden took to the podium today at the UN General Assembly for his final time in office. The president raising concerns with growing worries about China's global influence.
His speech was met with protests outside. Gus Rosendale has more.
Today is the 4th time I've had the great honor of speaking to this assembly as President of the United States. It'll be my last.
President Joe Biden called for countries around the world to unite in a mission of unified peace as he reflected on his own history of service.
America was at war in Vietnam. At that point, the longest war in America's history. Our country was divided and angry, and there were questions about our staying power and our future.
This was Mr. Biden's last address to the United Nations General Assembly as President of the United States.
We need to put ourselves in a position to see the threats, to deal with the challenges, and to seize the opportunities as well.
Biden called for peace in the Middle East, and he raised concerns about the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, along with growing worries about China's global influence.
Our test is to make sure that the forces holding us together are stronger than those who are pulling us apart.
As Biden addressed the assembly, another issue was raised across the street from the UN by these protesters calling for regime change in Iran. A reminder that this is a week when Midtown is a center of global discourse at a complicated and conflicted moment in global history.
Iranian people are ready for change, for democratic change, for a non-nuclear Republic Iran.
Meantime, as the scare unfolded on Naval Base Guam today, the Theodore Roosevelt Carrier Strike Group made a logistics stop to the island.
The visit is not related to the threats reported in the region, the crew bringing supplies and equipment to support ongoing military operations. The group arrived at Apra Harbor for a scheduled visit, the Navy confirming it's the first since February of this year.
The Navy adding Guam plays a critical role in providing logistics support to U.S. Navy vessels, including maintenance parts, supplies, and equipment. Sailors from the strike group, which include the USS Daniel Inouye and USS Russell, will also have access to the base during their time in port. The group has been operating in the U.S. 5th and 7th Fleet areas since January as part of a routine deployment.
And in other news, the fate of a man accused of molesting a girl known to him and giving the child drugs now rests in the hands of a Superior Court jury.
Defendant Justin Santos was emotional and in tears inside the courtroom during closing arguments. Santos also telling his side to KUAM moments before the jury was set to deliberate.
Defendant Justin Santos walked out of Superior Court Judge John Terlahi's courtroom Wednesday afternoon following only 2 days of trial. Parties had just presented closing arguments to the jury. Santos is accused of sexually molesting a girl known to him and giving her drugs. The alleged victim, who testified, was only 17 when she reported the abuse back in 2021. Defense contends prosecutors lack evidence to convict him of any crime, but prosecuting attorney Christine Tenorio called the defendant a, quote, father of the year for taking his children with him whenever he would get drugs. The arguments led to Santos in tears ahead of jury deliberations. He did not testify, but spoke with KUAM outside of the courtroom, maintaining his innocence.
I just hope justice is served. It's something heartbreaking, not just for me that I have to go through, but I lost 3.5 years for my kids because of this situation.
The situation led to Santos being court-ordered to stay away from minors. Santos contends the false claims were a result of an argument that unfolded with relatives.
So you never molested her?
Never.
You gave her drugs?
No, never. I'm clean. I was an opioid addict. I've been clean for 3.5 years now. Meth was never my drug of choice.
Defense arguing it was also a shoddy police investigation. Now Santos waits to find out what the jury will decide.
You're pretty emotional in there during the end of your defense attorney's closing arguments. What made you bawl out like that?
I can't believe I'm sitting in there. I just can't believe that I'm having somebody who's, by the way, a great attorney, somebody having to defend me for something that I didn't do. I mean, yes, I made bad decisions. I brought my kids to buy Percocets. They never knew at the time that that was the reason I would lie about going to meet a friend at a doctor. But really, yeah, my addiction took over, and it's not what it seemed, and I really didn't do what I'm being accused of.
Up next, the latest with the construction of the new Ukudu power plant.
And reliable public transportation, it was the talk during day 3 of session. Keep it here, you're watching KUAM.
Something is calling, and I can't help it. That's done the wrong when there ain't no soul. Watch me as I go.
Introducing GTA Fiber. We're bringing our fiber connection from the neighborhood all the way to your home. Now you can get lightning fast speed of up to 1 gig and take your streaming, downloading, or gaming to the next level. Plus, you get our next-gen KUAM Wi-Fi, so you can experience all that speed throughout your home. Built on Guam's most reliable network. Visit gta.net to see if fiber is available in your area. GTA Fiber. Nothing beats fiber.
The completion of the new Ukudu power plant is on the horizon.
The Guam Power Authority says the plant should be up and running sooner than expected. If not, the Power Authority's general manager admits ratepayers will benefit if deadlines are not met. The Ukudu power plant nearing completion with 91% of the project already done promises to save island ratepayers from digging deeper into their pockets for energy costs. Now expected to open sooner than expected, the plant is projected to be operational by September 15, 2025. As completed pipelines, fuel arrival scheduled for November, and the first generator expected to fire up by December of this year have all contributed to the accelerated opening timeline. Guam Power Authority General Manager John Beneventi says a 25-year contract with an independent power producer will mean even greater savings for consumers, even if the plant's target opening date isn't met.
If they do not meet that date, they pay $240,000 a day, at least $5 million a month in savings, true savings for you, the ratepayers.
Still, he remains confident the September deadline is achievable. Beneventi also highlighting during Wednesday's Guam Chamber of Commerce meeting how much the new plant will aid in oil reduction, with the plant having 51% thermal efficiency.
It's going to reduce about 879,000 barrels of import a year. That's a lot of money. Just think about $100 a barrel. You know, that's money you've been spending for years that is going to go away very shortly.
In the meantime, Beneventi says this coming February will bring a reduction in rates in light of the anticipated recovery of monies fronted for the Levelized Energy Adjustment Clause to aid customers. Legislation to provide free bus passes to those in need of reliable transportation up for discussion during session Wednesday.
Despite reservations, the measure now up for a vote in the coming days. Mitsuki Hirayama reports.
Reliable and affordable transportation is often a barrier to accessing health services, public assistance programs, and court-mandated appointments like probation. Speaker Therese Terlahi's Bill 286 seeks to alleviate that issue by providing free bus passes to those in need. Lawmakers discussing the legislation during session Wednesday, her bill would mandate GRTA to provide those bus passes free of charge to the following agencies: Child Protective Services, Guam DOE, the Department of Public Health and Social Services, Guam Housing and Urban Renewal Authority, the Judiciary, and the Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center. Vice Speaker Tina Muñoz-Barnes sharing her reservations with the measure, questioning if GRTA has enough funds for the task to include hiring more drivers and buying more buses amid an expected spike in new riders. GRTA Administrative Officer Henry Leon Guerrero previously testified during a public hearing that the agency is not prepared for it.
We don't understand the scope of the increase we're dealing with. So we are, we're asking for riders, generate revenue, but in terms of the usage of the increased usage, we just don't know. Okay. And right now we're not prepared for it.
Plus, the agency still does not have a functioning board to make important decisions or an executive manager, a dire situation for those relying on GRTA services like former board member and community advocate Evelyn Duenas.
We need transportation. It's an essential thing. It's my way to get around. It's people's way of getting around, whether they have cars or not. And with the fuel prices keep rising, that's a help to them. So really, transit is in dire need of assistance. And how can we do it? We really, truly just need to work together and get it going and put people in there that are passionate enough to run it.
Meantime, the bill author says the free bus passes will be limited. She does not expect a spike in new riders or increased costs for GRTA. The measure successfully moved to the third reading file and will be up for a vote in the coming days. Mitsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
An historic moment for a local union of firefighters in the Northern Marianas as they meet with the Commonwealth Ports Authority to negotiate a contract.
Regional correspondent Tomas Manglotnia speaks with the International Association of Firefighters Field Service representative leading those talks.
In what is believed to be the first ever negotiation between the NMI government and a local union, the NMI Professional Firefighters Union had its first meeting with the Commonwealth Ports Authority to begin ironing out the details of a collective bargaining agreement. Tony Spitaleri, who is based in California, is a former firefighter and the field representative for the International Association of Firefighters, assisting union members in the process.
It's a historical setting. It'll be something that all can look at. We plan on presenting a very good outline of a collective bargaining agreement that could be used as a model. Our goal is to have a system that allows to have professional people work for these various agencies and have a role model as far as if they create new collective bargaining agreements if other organizations decide to become a union.
He is confident in the process that they've started.
I feel very confident with the attitude of the authority and us in trying to reach a good agreement, that we will reach a very good agreement. It may take some time because it is the first one. And usually the first one does take time because we have to look at everything that affects the terms and working conditions of the employment and the policies and procedures of the agency.
They hope to have similar forward-looking talks with the Department of Fire and Emergency Medical Services.
We're hoping to get to a point where we can sit down, as we're doing with the Airport Authority, to put together. It's getting them to recognize the fact that there is an organized group, and we should have the right to sit down and negotiate a contract with them also.
Tomas Manglotnia, KUAM News, Saipan.
35 men and women make up the 23rd fire cycle of the Guam Fire Department.
Jonah Gonçalves checks in with the recruits who are 2 weeks into the academy.
The day for 35 fire recruits started off with getting into formation and some physical training. The group of 31 men and 4 women, who range from 20 to 43 years old, make up the 23rd cycle of the Guam Fire Academy. Guam Fire Department Public Information Officer Lieutenant Nick Garrido says the cycle is about 2 weeks in.
The fire chief had initially given them their welcoming briefing and then right into meeting their cadre staff, which is going to conduct all their physical training and basic fire ground operations along with the EMS portion. This week kicked off their first week with the EMS portion of the course, and it's conducted over here at the Guam Community College.
For recruits 31-year-old Magdalena Titano and 22-year-old Jose San Nicolas, the desire to become a firefighter has always been there.
So currently I serve in the Guam Army National Guard as a combat medic, so I'm medically trained in combat and not day-to-day settings. And so I wanted to further my education, and I felt that the Guam Fire Department was my calling. I have such a deep respect for the department.
I wanted to serve the Guam Fire Department because it provides the greatest response capability to the people of Guam, the community. I want to be an asset.
Upon hearing the news that they were selected for the newest fire cycle, it was a rush of emotions, but come first day, they were ready.
I'm meeting new people for the first time, and these are the people that we're going to have to work together with, so I think I was more intimidated but excited at the same time.
So it was exciting to meet the rest of my cycle mates. We all arrived on the first day with a common goal, and that really quickly helped us develop the values of teamwork and resilience.
Although mentally and physically challenging, the determination is there to push them to the finish line in the horizon.
My motivation is the 34 other recruits that I'm going through this cycle with. They motivate me to give my best because they're giving their best. I'm also motivated by my family, and then also the fact that I'm knowing that I'm bettering myself.
My kids are my motivation. My family's my motivation. But when I come through those doors, I motivate my cycle mates as well, and motivating them motivates me because we gotta stay strong.
For the next couple of months, recruits will be focusing on the EMS portion to prepare for the National EMS Registry Test for certification. Jonah Gonçalves, KUAM News.
Well, as the holiday season approaches, Marine Corps Base Camp Laws is launching the 15th annual Toys for Tots campaign. Beginning in the first week of October, just days away, Marines will deploy toy collection boxes to sites across the island.
Time to get to shopping already. The community is encouraged to donate new unwrapped toys at designated drop-off locations. The CNMI will also kick off their 8th Toys for Tots campaign on October 2nd. For a complete list of drop-off locations and important dates, visit guamchamber.com.gu or follow Marine Corps Base Camp Laws on Facebook. Now for a look at your world at home.
Here is a view captured of the hills of San Cerrito.
And the moonlight.
Ooh.
I'm Ginger Cruz, and I'm running for Congress with a plan. You can read it at gingercruz.com. Jim Moylan has no plan. You need to call his office. He lost $300 million in Compact Impact money. He let his good friend in Congress kill compensation for Guam's radiation survivors. And he takes credit for money defense is giving to Guam with or without him. Guam faces real threats and a crushing cost of living. And Washington, that's where we go to solve the problems, if you understand how. Congress is tough. You have to engage with members, know what you're talking about, be convincing, and move Guam's issues. From my start in the Guam legislature in the 80s, to the Ada and Gutierrez administrations, to the highest levels of the federal government, this has been my life's work. I even taught it at UOG. A lifetime of experience means I'm ready to work for you on day one. I'm Ginger Cruz. I approve this message, and I humbly ask for your vote.
Get ready to soak up the savings this summer at Kmart. Since 1995, Kmart has been the ultimate summer destination for everything you need. From groceries, to outdoor living, to everyday fashions for the family, we've been there for you. 24 hours a day. Kmart is committed to saving you time and money by offering big international and American brands you know, at prices incredibly low. Whether you're finding the perfect shade for that summer glow in our beauty care aisles, firing up your summer cookouts from top brands like Weber and Kenmore, or gearing up for those outdoor camping and beach adventures, Kmart's your one-stop shop for an active, fun-filled summer. So, join the fun and soak up the savings. You'll find everything you need and more, only at Kmart, the ultimate shopping destination in Guam, where savings, quality, and summer fun meet under one roof. Kmart, your 24-hour superstore.
Find a plan that goes with your flow. Get unlimited local talk, text, and data at the most affordable rate with Unlimited Flow Postpaid.
Growing up is realizing that everyone who told you to eat your breakfast when you were little was actually eating this for breakfast.
It's your turn to take your place at the breakfast table and savor the taste of culinary independence with freshly toasted bagels at McDonald's. Indulge in the breakfast you've always wanted and start the day off the right way, your way.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
Half a day, everybody. Jason here with your News Bites report for tonight. Couples island-wide are encouraged to check out the Archdiocese Marriage Ministry, and they're holding a Faith and Friendship Forum, a sponsor couple series highlighting faith and marriage. It's the sanctity of marriage, and Father Jeff Sinicolis is going to be the key speaker. Make sure to attend. It's going to be very, very worthwhile for our couples on island. All right, you were asked to save the date, of course, because the third annual Vero Purple Gala is going to be held October 12th. That will be at the Hyatt on Tumon Bay. The format is Guput tomorrow, and the fundraiser goes to support Vero's victim services and operational costs. Please make sure to support. And the CNMI Small Business Development Center is holding their next Women's Association, the fourth cohort Women Entrepreneurship Project. It is going to be super awesome. It is going to take place at 5:30 in the afternoon at the Terlahi campus on October the 15th through the 17th. Reach out to the CNMI Women's Association for much more. That is what's happening on News Bites tonight. Yes, my shirt is super cool. Yes, these are lobsters. Yes, thank you, Marie, for the wonderful present. Destiny, what do you think?
A nice lobster shirt there, Jace.
I know, I love it.
And we're also thinking of crab cakes.
Ooh, bring on the dance and lobsters.
Yeah, speaking of cakes, it's time now for birthday wishes.
Here's your Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club shout-out submitted on KUAM.com.
It's a great day for a birthday on this Wednesday, the 25th of September, everybody, and happy birthday to baby Curtis Jace Manaloto George. We love you so much, baby Core, mommy and daddy, and your two brothers, both of them. They love you very much, and I hope you enjoy your special day as you turn 4 years old. Awesome. Happy birthday. And happy birthday to Julie Ann Chargaloff, the perfect mix of spunky and sweet, our new 7-year-old Julie. Enjoy your birthday and many blessings and all the love in the world to you. Your family says, have a great one.
Happy birthday to all of you celebrating out there today. That's your primetime show. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Nick Delgado.
And I'm Destiny Cruz. Have a great evening and stay beautiful.
The Hub is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Business and Leo Palace Resort, Guam.
Half a day, welcome to another episode of The Hub. And who better to talk to us now, 40 days away from the general election, Super Tuesday, than the Guam Election Commission's Executive Director herself, Maria Pangilinan. Half a day, Maria.
Half a day, Nick Delgado. Sidus Masi for having me here.
Sidus Masi for coming in as well. And so November 5th, that's the date for general election. But before we get there, there's early voting for those that aren't able to make it that Tuesday.
So starting October 14th until October 28th, that's Monday through Saturday, from 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock. Please come to the Westin Resort, where we held the primary election early voting. We will have the early voting for the general election October 14th to the 28th. We're getting ready. We started talking to Westin already, and we should be up and ready by the 14th. That's a Monday from 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock.
And we'll have those electronic tabulators or electronic machines as well for easy voting.
That's correct. So the express vote machines, they'll be available again at the early vote center. And last primary election, out of all the early voters that came, about 40% used the express votes. So we hope that we increase that number for the general election.
That's good. I know that's going to be a plus too, as well as we're trying to bring in more younger voters, something to make it simple for them to get in and out and get their vote in as well.
Yes. So, you know, even on the last day of early voting for the primary election, there was not a big wait. So we hope the same thing happens. Come early so you don't have to wait. The golf carts will be available to bring you from the parking structure up to the mezzanine section where you can vote. And we will have accessible voting over at the Westin as well.
That's where you can park your car right there as you enter the facility, and someone will be able to come out to the car if you need that assistance.
That's correct. And we highly encourage that people who are persons with disabilities are in the car.
Yeah.
If the person with the disability has a driver or other companions, they too can vote in the parking structure, and somebody from the Guam Election Commission will come out and service them inside the parking structure.
And as with every election, including the early voting portion of it, you do need several things, right, to prepare. You can't just go there already with the vote in mind.
Yes, so please make sure you bring a validly issued ID. That means a government ID or a Guam High School or Guam University or College photo ID. Any validly issued federal or government ID. You can use CNMI driver's license. You can use any state ID as well. And it doesn't have to be current. It could be expired, just so long as what the law says it's validly issued.
Okay. Also coming up ahead of early voting, homebound voting will begin, it looks here, October 7th. That's a Monday, next Monday.
Yes, a couple weeks. So what we do is when early voting is supposed to start, we save the first few days for scheduling. So what we do is, right now we have, I think, 265 applications since the primary election, and then we've picked up a few more since then. So what we do is we schedule them per village first. So the first few days we won't go out, but we will schedule for each village, and then later on we will be going out daily. Sometimes later on we'd visit a village maybe 2 or 3 times during the day.
The earlier the better to pretty much book your appointment, right? And then all you have to do is just call the GEC's offices, the number 671-477-9791 to set that appointment.
That's correct.
District registration, it looks like that also begins the same week of early voting, October 15th.
Yes, so district registration is at the mayor's office and at the Guam Election Commission. You can register as soon as 8 o'clock and up to 8 o'clock, Monday through Friday. No holidays, so I don't think there's any holidays, but Monday through Friday and up to 8 o'clock. And the last day to register is, I think, October 22nd.
Yes.
October 22nd. And if you haven't registered and you show up at the early vote center up until October 22nd, you can register and vote at the same time.
Okay.
But only up until October 22nd.
Online motor voter registration, that's also happening that same day.
Yes, it stops actually. It stops when district registration starts. So October 15th, I think it stops. So online voter registration and motor voter, online is at gec.guam.gov, and then motor voter is at the Revenue and Tax at driver's license branch, where you come in to renew your driver's license or your Guam ID. You can also register to vote right on the same application as the driver's license and the Guam ID application.
Now, if I didn't make it to vote in the primary election, but I did vote in the previous gubernatorial election, am I qualified to still register?
Yes. Your name will only be taken off if you don't vote in 2 sequential general elections. So if you didn't vote in 22 and 20 general election, we will have taken your name off. You can always go to gec.guam.gov and check if your voter registration status.
Okay. Well, I want to ask you a little bit more about the absentee ballots and how that works for those of former residents of Guam and how they can get involved and just learn a little bit more about that process. But for now, we'll take a quick break. Keep it here. The Hub continues in a moment.
The Hub is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Business and Leo Palace Resort Guam.
Vince Borja is a great candidate for senator. He's an MBA, a retired Army officer, an adjunct professor, and an entrepreneur. Vince is a leader who will use education to help our island combat poverty and drugs. It's time to change the majority in the legislature. It's time for positive change. It's time to bring back values. It's time for leaders like Vince Borja. So please vote Vince Borja for senator. No nonsense, no business.
I'm Vince Borja and I approve this message.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
The Hub is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Business and Leo Palace Resort Guam.
Welcome back to the Hub. Again, we're here on the couch with GEC's Executive Director, Maria Pangilinan, to talk us through the election process and get us ready for the November 5th general election. Half a day, Maria.
Half a day again next.
So absentee voting. So say I'm new to the game, new to the election process, but I do have some relatives off island, recently relocated, and they want to know more about how they can still make sure that their vote counts. How does it work?
Get on our website, gec.guam.gov. Over there, there's an absentee voting tab. Go to that one, fill out the application form, make sure it's completely filled out with the address you want us to send your ballot to, and email it back to us, a completed form with your ID. You email that back to us, we should reply to you within 24 hours and send you the ballot. Now, absentee ballots have to be mailed back to us. So it has to come back via mail. It cannot come back to us electronically. We can send it to them electronically, where we will have what we call an electronic ballot template. And we have envelope templates as well, so that when we send it to them, if they prefer an e-ballot, we will send them an email with the templates for the electronic ballot and envelopes. And there are 3 envelopes. There's a ballot envelope, an affidavit envelope, and a courier envelope. The courier envelope, the ballot envelope gets sealed into the affidavit envelope, and then the affidavit envelope gets sealed in the courier envelope, which is what the post office will see.
Wow, and then are there deadlines when they must return that?
Yes, so the ballots must be postmarked November 5th, and they have 10 work days to send it to us, for us to receive it. We have a special group of voters. They're called UOCAVA voters, Uniform and Overseas Citizens Voting Act, I think. Yes. So for our military voters that are stationed outside of Guam, for our Guam residents or former Guam residents or any U.S. citizen that is in a foreign country where Guam was their last U.S. residence. Those voters, by law, we have to send their ballots out 45 days before the election, and that was on Friday. The requests that came in by Friday, we should have sent it out by Friday. So those were sent out. We can still receive requests for off-island ballots up until 3 days before the election.
Oh,
yes,
that's pretty tight. That's a tight window.
So most of those that request later request for an e-ballot, so we can send it to them almost immediately, but they still have to return it to us via U.S. Post Office or any kind of hard mail courier. Also, other than the UOCAVA, other than the military and the overseas citizens, the other off-island residents, like those that have left for medical in America or are students, they need to get their affidavit notarized. And that process is a little bit tricky, but not so, where they have to vote in front of a notary or the registrar of a university, but they cannot show who they voted for. So we've had, people call us about that process, and for years now it's been happening. So we sent out about over 160 ballots last Friday.
Okay. Does that number typically grow between that deadline all the way up to the 3-day mark before election?
Yes, so we anticipate it to grow, but the numbers have been low for both the primary compared to other primaries. We hope that the general election numbers grow.
What is the eligibility if I'm a former Guam resident in order to submit an absentee ballot?
The biggest requirement is that you're not registered anywhere else.
Okay.
Yes, and so you were a resident of Guam, or you continue to be a resident of Guam, and you want to return. You're going to return.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, if I've been gone for 2 consecutive elections, and I've registered elsewhere, that means I'm ineligible.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. The Guam law and the federal law says you cannot register in 2 jurisdictions.
All right. Any other advice you can give with regard to absentee voting?
Make sure you request as early as you can. Yes, and our sample ballots, visit our website. The sample ballots and who you're going to vote for are all in there.
Yeah. And you can go right now to the KUAM Facebook page where we took the sample ballot candidates and have our own poll live right now for you to just get an early start to the election process as well. We're going to take another break and continue the chat here with Maria Pangilinan with the Guam Election Commission. Keep it here. You're watching The Hub.
The Hub is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Business and Leo Palace Resort Guam.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
In every generation, there are those who question the status quo. Questions like, why can't chicken be slow roasted? Why can't I have shredded purple cabbage? Why can't my quesadilla have cheese inside and out? And where's my avocado verde salsa? The new era of chicken is here to stay. The Cantina Chicken Menu, only at Taco Bell.
The Hub is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Business and Leo Palace Resort Guam.
Hafide, welcome back to The Hub. Here on the couch with Maria Pangilinan, the Guam Election Commission Executive Director. Hafide, Maria. So there are a couple of election administration courses as well that you're offering as a professor at the University of Guam. Some important things that the public can get involved with, as long as maybe even receive a stipend for their involvement with the election, right? Once they go through it.
Absolutely. So the Guam Election Commission received a competitive grant from the U.S. Election Assistance Commission. And our project was to do a university upper division level course at University of Guam and offer it for credit. And the mission of the grant was to recruit precinct officials. So we started the course September 7th. Oh, by the way, kudos to the University of Guam Public Administration Division through Dr. Ron McNinch and Dr. Judy Guthards. They helped us get the course approved so that it is now part of the curriculum for public administration, where it's a regular course that will be taught every even year, every time there's an election. And it's called Public Administration 308, number 308, and it's an upper division course, and it's called Election Administration. Well, for this term, we're offering it as PA 308 and PD, Professional Development 894, Special Studies, Elections Administration. So we have about a dozen teachers who are taking it, who will be precinct officials.
Nice.
And then we have about a little over 32 or 35 students. I think a couple of them are from Guam Community College, and the rest are from University of Guam.
Any of them have experience with working the elections?
You know, I think, yes. There were 2 teachers that said they worked many years ago, maybe 3.
Yeah.
3 teachers that said they worked many years ago, 1 very recently. And so, yes, they're looking forward to the $500 stipend. They still get the stipend. And also, they get the 3 credits, which the grant will pay for. And the course, because it's 3 credits for both courses, it requires 45 contact hours.
Okay.
So the 18 contact hours is the day of the election where they work the precinct, where they work as precinct officials. So we will continue to meet until October 12th, and then November 5th we'll swear them in on October 12th, and then we'll swear them in, and then they go to the polling sites come November 5th.
That's a good incentive as well to get more hands-on experience and get that help needed every time this when election year comes around. And you were saying that there's at least 3 of them that have prior experiences, so
That's
at least
correct.
they can share that experience with the rest of the class and those taking the course.
So they have to come to the course, right? It's every Saturday, but they also have to attend training at the Guam Election Commission, because in the specific precinct official training there, ballots are counted for that specific precinct, and they get to meet who they're going to work with.
Okay.
So yes, so they take a break whenever their village training is on at the Guam Election Commission.
We're talking about a couple of the election administration's courses, PA 308 and PD 895 over at the University of Guam, taught by the woman herself, Professor Maria Pangilinan, the GEC Executive Director. This course, they say here, will examine and provide real-world experience in the conduct of elections on Guam with the Election Code of Guam, Title III, Guam Code Annotated, the Election Manual, and the Precinct Official Handbook. And again, that $500 stipend, you never can go wrong with that.
And we do pay for the tuition.
Yeah.
The grant will pay for the tuition.
Is this the first, and it's the first year?
This is the college work program grant has not been offered, except this is the first year it's been offered after. It's been a while since it was offered, and it was competitive. So we were very lucky to get it. Thank you.
And you said it's every other year. Was the grant able to cover
It's
a
only
certain period?
for 1 year.
Okay.
So it's only for this year. Hopefully, you know, if we report lots of successes, and it seems to be a success with it going, and if they all show up as precinct officials, I really want to report it, and maybe we'll get lucky again one more time.
I mean, it's only been like the first week, right? And so
a couple weeks already, 3 weeks already.
How's the response been?
Very nice. They're engaged. The students are engaged, and they're looking forward to they're looking forward to working it.
I like also that you have more minds now involved in like the election process, how to get the word out about their vote and get them involved in that, because low voter turnout, that continues to be a struggle, and as the years go on, it's just a challenge.
With University of Guam and Guam Community College, students in this class, we hope to increase that demographics in our voter participation, a day.
Yeah. Anything else that the community needs to know with regard to this this course? It's already ongoing, so the windows are already closed for anyone that was interested in participating this fall semester. But hopefully we get the grant again. Anything else that the community needs to know with how this benefits us?
So we hope that the students from this class come back again so that we have seasoned precinct officials, and that would make it easier, more efficient, and more effective, especially if they come back. So we hope that's the whole goal of the grant, is to get these precinct officials. And you know, the precinct officials, the average age for the precinct officials on Guam is much lower than those in the rest of the U.S. election jurisdictions. Yes, most of them are in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. Yeah. Yeah, where we here on Guam, we have them. I think the last time I checked, it was like 34. Okay. The average. Yes. Okay.
Wow. Busy woman you are this time of year, not just with the elections, but now teaching others to get involved in the process. We'll wrap up the show after one more break. Maria Pangolino with the GAC joining us here. Keep it here. You're watching The Hub.
The Hub is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Business and Leo Palace Resort Guam.
Want a real taste of New York? The classic New York-style pizza offers a big, bold taste that's a Guam favorite. Handmade to perfection on a crust that's 30% larger than our large. It's just $12.99 per carryout. Classic New York-style pizza, only at your island Pizza Hut.
The Hub is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Business and Leo Palace Resort Guam.
Welcome back. You're watching the latest episode of The Hub. Joining me here on the couch is GEC Executive Director Maria Pangolino. And Maria, we spoke about early voting, absentee voting, the courses that you are providing as the professor at the University of Guam to train the future precinct officials to get involved in the election process. But one thing that we were wondering with regard to the ballot that everyone will be seeing on November 5th, or if they head out to the polls for early voting, is the presidential race. How does that get on our ballot? And let's start with that.
Okay, by the Election Code of Guam, it's been on the books for a long time. The two national parties, the candidates from the two national parties get on the website. Get on the ballot. Also, any of the candidates, any of the independent or other than Democrat and Republican Party candidates, anybody can write to us on or before September 1st and let us know that they want to be on the ballot and let us know that they're also registered in another state. That's the requirement of the Election Code of Guam. So there's quite a few on the, for this.
7.
Yes, 7 here for the 2024 general election. And you know that Guam is where America's Day begins. Yeah. So our results will come out first. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that we've always predicted correctly the popular vote.
That's pretty much what this is, because our vote, it doesn't go towards the final count for president. Yeah. Wow. That's been the trend, huh?
I think so. And so this election cycle, the national news syndicates contacted us to see if we knew who the party leaders are. And so we did send them a note telling them who the party leaders are, and they contact. So there's a little bit more interest in the Guam elections from that side of the world, from the national. In the past, Australia has contacted me. Yeah. In the past, immediately after the election, like the morning after the election, and so they contact us and they asked us how the results were. So yes.
It's not a requirement though to select any of the candidates under the presidential race.
No, but our directions say choose one. Yeah. Yeah. Just like any part of the ballot, you can choose to vote no one, or you can choose to vote, like for the senators, 15, up to 15. For the congressional delegate, 1. For the for the Consolidated Commission on Utilities, this time 2 max. And then the Guam Education Board, there's 6 candidates, and you can vote up to 6. So you can vote all of them, you can vote none of them, or anything in between. And then we have judicial retention questions. And that, I think, completes, besides the public auditor. Yes, the public auditor, you vote for 1.
Running
and then the mayor and the vice mayor, if there's a vice mayor. So although that completes, I think, our ballot, including the presidential election.
Do you think that on election night, when we tally the votes, that it'll be the mayoral races that'll bring out, not just draw more of the voters to come out from the precincts, but have us there longer waiting for the final vote?
You know, there's not that many contests with regard to the mayors. I think there's more without contests than there are with competition, right? So Hagåtña doesn't have competition.
Most of them were settled at the primary.
At the primary, but they still have to be on the ballot.
Okay. All right. So remember, if you see the presidential candidates there on the ballot, it's going to help